Ciao, come stai? Welcome to Talk Calcio TV with me, Domenico, where tonight we review round 17 of the Serie A fixtures just gone this weekend in Italian football. It's fair to say it didn't disappoint. And we saw upsets, the VAR feature enough times, and we have new leaders in as well in the league. So let's crack on. Starting with the biggest shock of all, Inter Milan losing 3-1 at home to Udinese at the San Siro. Now, I said in my predictions on Friday, home win. I think we all did. The Nerazzurri were in great form. Mauro Icardi in the form of his life, their Argentine captain, striker, talisman. Luciano Spalletti had not tasted defeat as Nerazzurri manager just yet, but that changed Saturday. One of his old clubs, Udinese, coming to the San Siro, winning 3-1. Inter, whether you can put it down to an off day or if defeat was coming sooner or later. It's fair to say, though, someone on the score sheet for Udinese with the name of Lasagna, it's fair to say, unlike Inter that day, he had plenty of bite. So the Nerazzurri, they slipped from first to third in Serie A. Juventus up into second. Now the Bianconeri will convincing winners against Bologna 3-0 away. Goals from Pjanic, great free kick mind, Matuidi and Mandzukic. A lot of the build-up of this game was dominated from a public fallout, though, between Massimo Allegri and Paulo Dybala, the Argentine striker. Now, Allegri already had a injury-hit squad, we know that. I don't know what exactly is the reason. Allegri claims Paulo Dybala not in the right frame of mind to play. Dybala then, of course, responded after yesterday's game, saying there's nothing wrong with him, he doesn't understand why he was being selected. Now, players and coaches fall out all the time. There's a lot of things we don't see. It's kept behind wraps, but this one going public. I'm sure Juventus fans don't want to hear that right now. They've got Roma coming up this weekend. I think all the talk and attention will be if Dybala's selected then. If he's not, it's only going to fuel more to these rumours that so say Barcelona are keeping an eye on the Argentine striker. So, or is it Dybala's agent telling him to, criticise Allegri in public? Who knows? To get his move? Who knows? But the Bianconeri, it didn't affect them on the pitch. They're in second. Now we have new leaders in Serie A, Napoli. And if you notice tonight, we have a Napoli shirt here, a replica one of when they won the Scudetto, late 80s, early 90s. Also worn by a famous man called Diego Armando Maradona. I'm sure you've heard of him. Well, on Saturday, Marek Hamsik has equalled his record of 150 goals in Serie A for Napoli. So that was a record that has been broken, a record equalled by the Slovakian striker, now there to be broken. And, Diego Maradona, need I say any more about how great he was in his time, even if he was controversial on and off the pitch. 150 goals in Serie A, that is not the easiest fate to achieve, especially with the defensive football. You don't see many high-scoring games in Italy. So Hamsik has equalled his record. So tonight we have new leaders Napoli, and we have a shirt from, we did ask Maradona to donate his shirt. We didn't get a response, but wasn't surprised really. So Napoli, they top Serie A. Having been at top weeks ago, they had a few bad results. They went out the Champions League. They were 8 points clear early in the season. They clawed their way back to the top of the Scudetto race. They are top, Napoli. Next, in fourth position, we have the Giallorossi Roma, who 1-0 winners against Cagliari. Now, I've got to say on this one, we all know the game of football wasn't great to watch. I don't think anyone needs reminding there. It's a game for me that will be overshadowed by refereeing decisions on the VAR. Now, I will discuss in the next episode what we think about the VAR. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it misused? Does it ruin play? That's for another day. But, deep in the second half, and already was a game, we see Edin Dzeko take the ball around Cagliari's goalkeeper we thought was fouled. The referee, of course, booked Dzeko, but then having consented to VAR, he then awarded Roma a penalty. Now, was Dzeko's yellow card rescinded? We didn't really see that. If it wasn't really made clear. Of course, Diego Perotti missed the resulting penalty, having walked up to it. You thought people would have learnt their lesson after Simone Zaza's dreadful penalty against Germany at Euro 2016. But Perotti missed the penalty. So the game looks as if it's heading to 0-0. And then Federico Fazio finally breaks the deadlock with an open goal after a mistake from Cagliari's goalie, who I thought was trying to impersonate Superman myself with his famous punch. Roma are celebrating the goal. The Stadio Olimpico goes mad. And then we see the referee halt celebrations so we can refer to the VAR again. On the VAR, it shows that the goalie punches the ball onto Fazio, even if he wasn't off outside position. It comes off the Cagliari player, which Fazio taps into an open net. Now, I just felt that the VAR killed the atmosphere after we've seen a goal, and it wasn't a great game, we know that already. Of course, so Roma held on to that, and they needed the win ahead of their fixture against Juventus coming up this Saturday, like I've already mentioned earlier. We will bring in the build-up that day before the game on that one. We also saw ugly scenes at the end. Alessandro Florenzi coming to blows nearly with half of the Cagliari playing staff and coach, a couple of the coaching staff as well. Who knows what was said there? I'm sure there was. I'm sure it didn't die down in the tunnel, to say the least, afterwards. So Roma and it will travel to Turin on Saturday to face Juventus. Next game, of course, we had Sampdoria lose 1-0 at home to Sassuolo. Now, Sampdoria, I said last week, haven't lost at home all season. They've beaten Juventus, they've beaten their cross-city rivals Genoa, but Sassuolo on the weekend went to the Port City. They come away with 3 points. We also saw Chievo lose 1-0 away to Crotone. Chievo, the Flying Donkeys, of course, kept Roma at bay last week. We all saw that one. They were unable to repeat that performance. They lose 1-0. We also saw the relegation 6-pointer, Benevento, beaten yet again, this time against Spal. I said this last week, you know, it's great to see a team like Benevento in Serie A, but when you see them getting pulverised week after week, it's like seeing a dying animal. You just don't want to see it suffer anymore. Plenty of the season left, I know, but how on earth do Benevento get out of the relegation zone? I mean, how on earth do they get their first win? You know, they're just on 1 point. That must be soul-destroying for them. But they will have to find their feet soon because, at this rate, I'm sure they don't want to be embarrassed. They must go, if they're going to get relegated, at least go down with a fight. Fiorentina versus Genoa 0-0. Well, it was the only goalless game of the weekend. I actually predicted a win for the Viola, so I am a bit surprised with that one. Then we also saw Verona beat AC Milan 3-0. Now, Gennaro Gattuso, of course, drew his first game with Benevento. That's where the point came from. Of course, last week they beat a stubborn Bologna team 2-1 at the San Siro. They beat Verona in the Coppa Italia during the week, so surely this had to be an away win. Well, we were wrong. Verona beating the Rossoneri 3-0, and as for Leonardo Bonucci, his season just seems to go from bad to worse. You do wonder if he is regretting leaving Juventus now. You know, I mean, Gattuso's now got the full set of results, a win, a draw and a loss. Will there be a honeymoon period for him, or will he carry on where Montella left off? Because right now with La Rossoneri, it's fair to say the money's spent. They don't look as if they will be playing in Europe next season as it stands. Other results, of course, the other ones that we have on there, we've already mentioned, earlier on about Roma against Cagliari. We've also now got Atalanta versus Lazio last night. Now, I watched this one. It's fair to say this one did not disappoint. We saw a 3-3 draw, and we saw the VAR feature many times yet again. Atalanta, known as the underdog, you had to fancy them. Of course, Lazio were without Ciro Immobile, their prolific talisman. He was suspended, of course, thanks to the VAR system. Remember that one? 3 times they were ahead. They had a goal disallowed thanks to the VAR, but Lazio just would not lie down. They kept fighting till the end. A remarkable point for them to get in Bergamo. We also saw Simone Inzaghi sent to the stands as well. So a point for the Biancoceleste, and against the odds there, Atalanta will be wondering how on earth they did not win that game. So, next episode we will talk about the VAR system, because as we know, we've seen many games in round 17 affected this week. Does the VAR halt play? Does it ruin play? Do we really need it? We will discuss that in the next episode. Also this week, ahead of Juventus versus Roma in Turin, we will bring you the build up to that game and review. Will Dybala and Allegri have made up by then? So, thanks for tuning in to Talk Calcio TV with me, Domenico, tonight. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your comments below. We'll see you on your next episode. Buonasera, arrivederci.